Okay, hey, welcome to the channel. So, I originally planned on just making a really rough copy of this video and just post it to YouTube regardless of the quality. Since for some reason my brain threw away first impressions and just said, show them you exist first, or something. But thankfully Logic kicked in and I actually spent time writing a script. So yeah, now I'll sound slightly less like a rambling mess. Anyway, hi, I'm Connor. This is my first video of the series. I haven't really thought of a title, so for now I'm just going to call it From Scratch, which might get changed, but we'll see. It's pretty self-explanatory, but since before writing a script I managed to explain it in genuinely the most brain-dead way possible, I'm going to make this a little more clear this time, hopefully. So, yeah, it's as the name says, I'm gonna write a song from scratch. Yeah, anyway, enjoy the series. No, I'm kidding. But, basically all I'm gonna do is record myself using FL Studio and go ham. Go ballistic on it. Go stupid. So yeah, I'm gonna overlay my voice and just kind of try and explain what was going through my head while doing something, whether it's mastering or like making chord progression or whatever. And I'll hopefully manage to make it fairly enjoyable to watch. Yeah, I'll talk about the issues I face, how I overcome them, and give you insight into my very inexperienced brain when it comes to orchestral music. I'm primarily self-taught, so I'll probably have a ton of bad and like really weird habits, and you'll get to suffer secondhand watching me fiddle around like a complete beginner despite my 10 years of FL Studio experience. So yeah, that's the gist of it. This is my first video on the channel, so I feel like I should give some sort of introduction, so I'll just yap while we're watching this times 25 speed, video. Yeah. Psst, if you don't care, skip to like 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So yeah, a little about me. My name is Connor. I'm your average music lover who talks like he's on Adderall and looks it too. I've been making music for, as I said, around like 10 years, but I'm not really good since I'm, for the most part, I'm self-taught. And I was very inconsistent with it. Plus, I used to do like completely different genres, so when it comes to like orchestral specifically as well, it's definitely not great. Yeah, recently I realized all I really wanted to do, like in a career path is just kind of music or like production, specifically orchestral production. I never really thought very much about what I wanted to be when I was younger, and that kind of continued until like 6 months ago. So, yeah, I kind of just planned on going into IT or something because I know my way around a computer, but like that was not exactly the best option. It was never really my passion. But yeah, no, my real passion was always music. I played piano for a long time as well. It's always been what I'm really interested in. My brother, whom I'll probably speak of a decent bit in this intro or in the series, was the person who made me realize I should just kind of follow my heart, as corny as it is. He's my main inspiration for like 90% of what I do, music related and not. I'm probably gonna throw his stuff in the description so you can check him out. He makes EDM music and it is fire. But yeah, he pointed out to me that I should just do whatever I want. Life is too short to be overly cautious with everything, so, you know, take the risk. I absolutely love music, whether it's EDM, breakcore, 8,000 BPM, funky Russian hardstyle, kick spam, 808, ear rape, yeah. Regardless, I like music. But orchestral just kind of sticks out to me, especially as of recently. Movie and trailer music specifically just kind of, it tells a story without even needing like to watch a movie or to see the visuals. It's just like, I don't know, it's always kind of captivated me. So yeah, I tried my hand on it before, but there was no real projects that I was really proud of. But as of recently I got Albion 1 from Native Instruments and it's felt really good. There's a very big learning curve and I'm still going through it, but it's, I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. So yeah, that's kind of the main gist of it. I guess this is kind of like my first step into an actual like music journey or whatever. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Yeah, the series is gonna kind of be my journey, I guess, and I'm very happy if anyone really wants to stick around and walk that journey with me. I don't think I missed anything big, so let's just get straight into it. Yeah, I will see you in the video. So, unsurprisingly, I'm realizing now it's gonna be a lot harder than I realized to make this, like, interesting. Because unlike the Titans like Hans Zimmer and Ludwig Göransson, probably butchered that, I don't have these genius complex thoughts while making music. Me place note, me brain tingle, hehe. But yeah, I don't know, whatever, I'm locked in. So yeah, we start in the beautiful blank canvas that is FL Studio. I had a dream about like ambient synth sounds and wanted to just try and replicate it. Definitely wasn't as good as the dream, but I generally did what I wanted with it. I used Flex's dystopian lead, cut down on the reverb in the synth, and then added my own revolver. I used the Smooth Cathedral device, which is just like a nice long reverb device, and I cut down a ton on the dry knob, making it sound like ghostly and creepy and like it's in the background. And then laid down some fast notes. It has a high attack, so it's just like a gentle, quiet arpeggio type thing. And it is going to stick in the background during the whole song, so get used to him. So my next step was throwing that track into the playlist and then consolidating it. I wanted to make it a sample instead of a pattern roll, so I can copy it and then make a reversed version of it to give it like this echoey fade-in effect. I struggled like a less than intelligent human being for literally no reason with like fading the volume. The recap is I failed to mesh the volume as well, but fixed it by creating a automation clip on the reverse sample track, so I can have like the volume fade in as well. My next step was adding in a bass and a cello, giving it a pretty basic progression, and giving it dynamics. Alright, so next up, I threw it into the playlist. I already noticed some muddiness. I think there was some like random low frequencies on the synth, so I cut the samples around 100 Hz using a EQ. And yeah, got me some freed room for them succulent strings. So I add two more layers here. I add a pizzicato violin, playing another pretty simple progression, and just mess with the note velocity to give it a little more realism. And then I think, like, gentle scratch tone violin. I don't know if that's the correct description for it, but it's the best they're getting from me. And then I added a progression at first for that violin, but I ended up changing it to just like a single sustained note, making it a little more tense. Here's all of it together. Okay, so here I did a couple things. I got lazy and added more ambience because I like my ambience. Just some random nature sounds. Next up, I was originally gonna add I think it was just like a spiccato violin, but I didn't like how it sounded with everything, so I ended up changing it to a lead violin, where I wrote my, again, and you're gonna hear more from me, very basic progression. So yeah, we wrote that down, and then we brought in a new progression to the chords. Just added a different bass note, and then one more bass note after that, and add that, play that with the lead, and yeah, so here it is. So I believe here I called it a couple hours. I got back on a couple hours later, but yeah, so that was all I did here. And then the hardest part of the entire song, naming it. Don't mind me failing to spell frown, or spelling frown correctly, but think it's not spelled correctly. It's one of those words where, like, if I look at it for long enough, it just doesn't look like it's spelled properly. Anyway, sad face. But yeah, I'm going to sleep now, so I'm gonna finish editing this later. See you tomorrow / in a second. Okay, morning. Anyway, starting right back up. My next up is something that I've had problems with since I've started doing like orchestral programming. And I'm sure plenty of other orchestral programmers struggle with. Making a lead violin sound realistic. I'm not sure if it's just a skill issue, but as far as I can tell, Albion doesn't really have any great lead options. I don't think it lets you like port or sliding notes, so you can't get that realism, and the vibrato isn't amazing. I don't know if I'm just missing something, so correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but yeah. I tried getting a vibrato here, all I did was just make an automation clip for the pitch. It works, it's just not great, it's not really realistic, but whatever. Alright, next up, I added some more layers. I made another bar for the build-up. Or I guess 4 bars for the build-up. And then, yeah, I grabbed some long strings and I threw them into some basic chords. Ugh, Jesus. I threw them into some basic chords and then I added dynamics and threw it into the playlist. Alright, so now I added another octave to the lead strings for the crescendo, and then after that I went back to my earlier idea and added some spiccato strings, but just did it better than I did originally. Actually, like, putting my 2 brain cells together and using them. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so here I think I spent some of the most time, not quite the most, but close to. And what it was I was adding some brass. I added low, mids, and highs for some brass stabs and long brass. I wanted to introduce a more, like, triumphant tone in the crescendo, so I think the brass does that fairly well. I believe after this bit, I believe after this bit I show you here, I added the audio a little bit, so I don't know if it's gonna sound the same later on, but it shouldn't be too drastic. But yeah, it took a lot of, like, figuring out what I wanted, because I had a couple of different ideas. Some of them didn't pan out too well, but that's, you know, just kind of the life of producing music. So yeah, I wanted to have it be really full at first, and then I realized it was getting a little too muddy, so I just wanted to cut down on some of the voices, and then towards the end I kind of scrapped my main idea. It was still similar to what I wanted, but not quite the same. All I did was just edit the voices again a little bit, and just removed it so it's like only a couple. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. All I did here was add a tremolo violin to give it just a little bit extra on the high ends. So here we add in some percussion. I used the Darwin ensemble in the Albion one for like the bass percussion. And again, I don't know if this is a skill issue, but I don't think it has like just that like trailery punch. So it's not usually my only option. I think what I end up doing here is just I have a bunch of samples from that I grabbed online that I use for some more punchy kicks and like some sweeps and whooshes. And yeah, so here's just the Darwin ensemble. So yeah, having those kicks play on the like actual or on the brass's timing, I think kind of adds that like triumphant feel fairly well. But it still wasn't anywhere near punchy enough, so I wanted to add in some extra oomph. I had some random samples from past songs and was too lazy to find new ones, so you know, YOLO. I also added some cymbals using Albion's cymbals and gongs one. I think they also fit really well with the whole vibe, so yeah. Okay, and then all I did here was I added a couple extra snares and toms into the Albion drums just to make it a little bit more full. Added, I think, one or two more effects just to, again, make it more full. There were some spaces that kind of felt empty, so I just fixed that up. And then I did some general stuff like fixing my automation clips positions, and I was just making sure that all my stuff was playing when I wanted it to. And then I went back to the starts to add in my transitions. I can't remember if I even said earlier, but yeah, the build-up didn't sound proper because I was saving the, like adding the transitional effects for last. All I did was add a couple reverse cymbals and some crashes. I threw a convolver on the crash, and then I used like a quieter whoosh once the build-up got more, you know, built up. So yeah, here's that. And yeah, with that marks the end of the song. So it's pretty short, it's not like a super long song, but it's just a start to the series, I guess. I wanted to just get something out, and as I said earlier, I was originally going to just post this with like the most bare bones editing whatsoever, but I decided to put at least a little more time into it. But yeah, hopefully in the videos coming up, I'll make some longer things, and I will, yeah, hopefully just be improving and stuff like that. So I don't know if I want to add like I don't know how to explain it. Like maybe 3 things I want to improve on or something, and then maybe the next video I will focus on those 3 things. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that and like just witnessing my improvement in that regard or like in that way, like that. But yeah, I don't know. Any criticism or anything in the comments, of course, I'm so open to. As I said, you can like legitimately rip into me and I will be happy as long as I gain a shred of thy knowledge. But yeah, I think that is just about it. I don't know, I'm really excited for the series. I am excited to just get going and get learning, and even if 1 or 2 people watch, I am happy. I'm excited for this journey. So yeah, thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Enjoy the song.